Well, good morning. This is Jim from the Swing. So good to be here today with you. And I hope you're having a good morning. I'm just having a blast. I love my time with you on the Swing. We're talking about faith. We're talking about Abraham. Now, a lot of you that are watching have heard me over the years, because I've been around this area for quite a while as far as in Florida. Now, if you're watching from somewhere else, of course you haven't. But so I want to talk about faith. Faith that Abraham had was faith that he did not really know where he was going, but he had trust in the voice that called him to go there. Perfect obedience would be perfect happiness if we had perfect confidence in the power we were obeying. Hannah Whitwell Smith. Anyway, but she said that perfect obedience would be perfect happiness if we had that confidence in the voice that we were obeying. And Abraham was developing a sensory perception of God. He was not going by what he could see, smell, taste, feel, and our physical senses, but he was learning how to walk by faith with spiritual senses, being able to see as God sees, hear God speak to his voice, taste and see that the Lord is good. He began to feel the very presence of God by faith. It wasn't by what he saw and felt. Well, let me just write this or bring this to you. By faith, Abraham, when he was called, went out to a place to receive the inheritance. He obeyed and went out, not knowing whither he went. But by faith, he sojourned into a land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him in the same promise. For he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker was God. And he took off, and it says down here in verse 15, it says, and he started off, it's easy to start anything. We all know how easy it is to start something. To go out is one thing, but to stay out is another thing. In fact, it says here in verse 15, it says of chapter 11, it says, and truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to return, but they didn't. They didn't. They said, but now they desire a better country, that is heavenly, whereof God is not ashamed to be called their God, for hath prepared for them a city. Now, faith is saying, what is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Now, I said that before, and other people heard this illustration that I have had for many years. I traveled for, I traveled 25, almost 26 years singing. And I'd go from church to church, and I'd go from Kansas City to the East Coast, and then from Kansas City to the West Coast, and back and forth in lots of churches. And I enjoyed it. I always look forward to having fellowship with people. I enjoyed being with people in their homes. I enjoyed staying with people because you learn so much. Well, a lot of times I would be singing on Sunday morning, and I would say, man, I hope they have chicken at the house today where I'm eating, because I love fried chicken. I just really enjoy fried chicken. And I think my mom marked me with it because about every other Sunday we have fried chicken. Anyway, so after the service was over, we'd go to the people's house. And I'd always remember, I said, I hope they have chicken. I hope they have chicken. Well, if I walked in to that house and I looked over, because everything was pretty well laid out, the guest was coming, and so they had the table all set. If I looked over and I saw chicken gravy, I know what chicken gravy looks like. If I saw chicken gravy, that was the substance of things hoped for. Because I knew if there was chicken gravy here and mashed potatoes here, there's a pretty good chance there was chicken frying in the kitchen. And sure enough, that chicken gravy was the substance of things that I hoped for was in the kitchen, which was the chicken. Well, what I see and what you see, God's creation, maybe we don't see him with our physical eyes, but we see him by faith, because we see of the substance of the things of hope for, of a fabulous creator who loves us, wants the best for us. So what we see in our spirit, it is a spirit, faith, hope, that we take this word and we believe it. And because we believe it, and then the things that we do see, even in our physical eyes, the creation shows that there is a creator. And the creator, the best creation he ever made, was you and me. And he wants to have a relationship with us, and he wants to use us. Wow, what a thought. You know what? Take your faith, use it. Stand on the promises of God that's called you into your ministry. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.